Three, two, oh, we're live.
Yes, it says we're live already. It's- Good
All
night,
right.
everyone.
Better make this movement.
Yeah, we're gonna make this quick because they downstairs about to turn up for my sister's birthday part two.
Oh Lord, they doing it again tonight?
Yep, because she's
Oh,
celebrating from yesterday into today, and then after that, that's it. Because I'm
how old is she turning?
exhausted. 28.
Oh,
28. That was my what you call it, my big thing. It was a big thing for me because I was 28 on the 28th when I turned 28. So, but for her it's just 28.
what y'all doing for
I'm trying to
Thanksgiving?
share the I have no idea. We talked about going because my cousin she lives in Georgia, so we talked about that. COVID is a blow. Like I wonder how that's gonna work. Because people's yeah, yo, COVID is still a thing. So that's a good question. What y'all doing for Thanksgiving? Because I want to know.
I'm still
Like,
hosting
yeah,
Thanksgiving.
you still doing it?
Yeah, it's gonna be me, my nephew, my other nephew that lives with my sister, and the other nephew that isn't my biological nephew. He's bringing his sister, a couple of people at my job, that doesn't want to go home for Thanksgiving. Who else is gonna be here? Well, whoever comes by.
I hear that. Honestly, I
So
was
I'm gonna
just
have to.
thinking about that, like with COVID and everything. It's crazy. I'm so ready for this COVID crap to just be a thing that passed instead of it still being a thing. Like it's so
And then they
crazy.
talking about a second wave. I ain't got time for that shit.
The thing is that they know it's going to be a second wave because they're tweaking the virus, and that's the crazy part. They're like, oh, it's genetically modifying. Like that shit ain't doing itself. That shit is not doing that by itself. If you look at the back of Lysol cans, coronavirus is there. So it's not the coronaviruses are nothing new. But why the hell is it all of a sudden genetically modifying? Because y'all want to fucking be scientifically tweaking shit. But
Yeah,
hey.
they're turning up the 5G.
That too. There's a lot of conspiracies against that. But it's so crazy because I actually bought an EMF reader, which is the electromagnetic field tester. And it tests the radiation within your environment. So I had actually got this from like March, April because everybody was saying all these 5G towers and there's not high levels of radiation in my home. So honestly,
You know what?
it
Because
could probably not be that because I'm not directly near a tower. Like I understand how it works
no,
because even with if you put it,
you're in the middle of a nice neighborhood, so and you're like even still, even if you're because you're near the water towers, but you're still far enough away from them. You're just down the street, but you're still far enough away from them, and you're in the middle of cul-de-sac residential neighborhood. So of course you're not gonna have high levels, but where I am,
have you checked
where
it? Have you tested it? Because
I
you
haven't
can
tested it.
buy.
You need to come just bring yours over here and wire it up and then just to check and see, because you know what, they use those for ghosts also.
I don't want to know about that. Now I'm gonna be thinking about that. Like, I'm done.
You said EMF or EMS?
EMF, the electromagnetic field testers.
Electromagnetic field. Yeah, they toast the energy for ghosts and stuff like that. Girl, watch Ghost Hunters.
I'm not gonna watch that. You're trying to have me paranoid like a mug.
Oh, why are you so
Um,
scary?
because I don't
All
like
right,
scary stuff.
well, let's get
That's
into these
crazy, right?
topics. You said you had something about
Yes.
Kevin Hart.
Oh, no, it wasn't that I had anything about Kevin Hart. It's just I wanted to be able to talk about that whole situation in general.
All right,
Because
well, break
basically I
it
know
down.
someone who's going through something like that. Basically, I want to try to go like to the root cause of the, like I wanted to talk about the topic and my viewpoint on it, because I actually know somebody who's going through something like that, but she doesn't know who it is. Like somebody basically, they're not trying to, what is it? It's not extortion. It's just that they're telling, we don't even know what they want with her. They're just jealous of her. Like they'll text her and be like, "Oh, you dirty, stinking bitch. I'm gonna send these pictures to
What?
your mom." And the issue is that because we're trying to figure out what legal action we can take because we don't know who it is. But they really sent pictures and videos of her, naked pictures and videos that she don't know who it could be because of stuff that was recent in her phone. So whoever does it has access to her iCloud or something.
What?
Yes, they got like her most recent pictures, and then they took naked pictures of her from her, from her iCloud and sent it to her mom. And I'm like, what the hell? There gotta be something that we can do to find out who the fuck that is and to get them arrested because that shit is crazy. And then in this situation, I'm learning that Kevin Hart had a similar situation where his sex tape was exposed and the person was arrested. But to me, what I be trying to figure out is if he was only arrested because it was extortion, because they're saying supposedly he was trying to sell the video for money, which is extortion, right?
Yeah, but here's the thing: the camera was hidden.
Oh
Let me look at
yeah,
the
that
details.
too.
Let me look
Yeah,
at the
that too.
details.
So basically, he didn't even know. Oh my God, that's not something we ready to. We gonna start talking about that now because when we ready to talk about it, we could decipher it all.
Go ahead, go. Okay, you do your little 2 cents. You do your bit, and then I'll just go ahead and run down the facts of the case and everything like that.
Okay, because I only saw the YouTube videos that you had sent me, but supposedly Kevin Hart has a friend of 15 years. Well, he was his friend for 15 plus years, and what happened
JT
was a couple of
Jackson.
years ago. Yeah, JT, right? So he basically had a situation where he cheated on his wife, and it was recorded. Like it was on like somebody, whoever who it was. They knew that he was gonna be fucking and cheating on his wife, and they set up a camera. And then, long story short, they was trying to sell it or release it for money. So basically, his lawyers got involved, and he never had a conversation with his friend as a friend. So that's the big thing. He wanted to. Well, the first big thing is that the fact that Kevin Hart never had a conversation with his quote unquote friend, and then also, um, what was it? Oh, the fact that the friend was declared not guilty, and nobody is talking about that, but they're so mad because when they was saying how he was got arrested, and they was cursing him out and dogging him out and accusing him, and that's the situation. So that was the main topics. But the way I feel about that, honestly, if it was me personally, if this was my friend of 15 years, no matter how much money I got, I would still reach out to my friend and be like, yo, we, based upon our research and our investigation, this shit is drawn back to you. 9 out of 10 times, motherfuckers that's doing some shit like that, they not gonna own up to it. They not gonna have to own up to it. Even if it was true, they not gonna say, I'm sorry. Yeah, I did this. But then also, so the way how, like, honestly, what do you think? Well, not really what you think, because the guy is guilty. So because he's guilt, I mean, the guy is not guilty. He's proven he's innocent because they dropped the charges. So we can't accuse this man of anything because apparently in the court eyes, he's innocent. But I think he's still capable of doing it because it's videos out from before their relationship messed up, and that guy was off. Like TMZ pull up. Kevin Hart is like, "Oh, let's go, JT." He drunk and he want to talk and fucking entertain TMZ. Which star will probably sit down and entertain goddamn TMZ? So basically, if your friend is famous and you know your friend don't need no spotlight on them, why you entertain? And then Kevin Hart literally drove off. And then JT stupid ass was running, chasing him. And then he got up to the car. And then, of course, TMZ ran up to the car when Kevin Hart was finally letting him in. And I'm like, why you, like, if I was famous and you really want to sit there and take time to talk to the fucking paparazzi, I cannot fuck with you. Like, what? So he was off to me. I ain't even gonna lie. I ain't gonna hold you. Did you see that? I think you sent it to
Uh,
me. Yeah, you
yeah,
did
I
send it
sent.
to me. It was in one of the
I,
YouTube videos.
yeah, I sent you a whole bunch of YouTube videos, but let me see if I could just go ahead and break down the case. Because this article is from 2017 from The Root and The Grapevine. Earlier this year, Kevin Hart was caught up in a sex tape scandal extortion attempt. And I want to say attempt because
Hold
I
on.
guess
First and foremost, let's say this though, to clear the air. Kevin Hart is wrong. I don't care what nobody say. Whether or not he was,
he's
he
still
set himself up for
wrong.
that. He
He's
set
still
himself up
fucking
for that shit. I'm
wrong.
gonna say that because at the end of the day, yeah, if his friend was trying to extort him or whoever the fuck was doing it, they were wrong. For that's a fact. But at the same time, you're wrong because it's your actions that got you in that fucked up situation to begin with. If you would have never been out there cheating on your wife, then there would fucking be no video to show anybody about you doing anything. And I hate the fact that people don't take responsibility for their actions. Like, yeah, you was trying to be extorted, but you're still fucking wrong. You're trying to put the blame on, oh, they're doing this to me to, fuck my whole life up. You fucked your whole life up by pushing your dick in that other woman, sir. Like, that's the fact. I don't even know why people let that go over their heads. He fucked himself up. And guys try to justify, like, oh, that's your boy. If your boy cheating, this and that. Why the fuck are you encouraging your boy to cheat? Like, what the fuck type of world are y'all trying to live in? A world where y'all fucking going out there cheating left and right, getting side bitches pregnant, catching STDs. Like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? Why not motivate your friends to be faithful and keep their dick in their pants? Anywho, he was wrong. Go
And you know
ahead.
what?
Let's
You know
go.
what? That was addressed in the Kevin Hart. I should have sent you the Kevin Hart documentary, but
You ain't send me that.
he was like he mentioned he needs his boys, his real boys, on tour with him so they can watch out for him and make sure he doesn't cheat. First of all, it's not up to them whether you cheat or not.
That's crazy. And it's so sad because guys, they just, growing up, it's like who could get the most bitches is, that's
Yeah.
who's the most popular. And it's messed up because they have that mindset and they don't like, I don't know. That's dumb. They got issues. I'm sorry.
But his longtime ex-friend now, Jonathan Todd Tay Jackson, is now facing two felony charges, two felony counts. Jackson, who has appeared in several films with Hart, and most recently Marlon Wayans' Netflix movie Naked, was charged with one attempt of extortion and extortion by a threatening letter. Apparently, Hart was shocked at the revelation that his friend would do him dirty. And that's when, the tweet came out that Kevin Hart posted. Now, here's the thing, Kevin Hart posted this tweet, and he posted it after his team had gotten word that the evidence was going to go out against him if, there was going to be a certain amount of money paid. Now, that's extortion. And
It is.
instead of like JT said in the recent interview with Comedy Hype, instead of calling him and getting, confirmation from him to see if it was really him extorting him, he went with whatever his team had told him. So, it's going to be what his manager, his
Right.
lawyer, write this check, or I'm going to leak this of your client, and it's going to get to Kevin Hart. So I don't know how they thought to make it seem like it was JT doing it, but JT got blamed for it. Well, he was charged with extortion. I don't know how his name ended up being cut up. He was around during that time, during the Las Vegas trip. Mind you, it was Nico's birthday weekend, and he was in Las Vegas with his boys. So they're trying to
Mm.
say that JT was the one who planted the camera and JT was the one who wrote the letter. But going back to the article, Hart was
But
unknowingly
here's the thing,
videotaping.
though. Honestly, this is the thing. I'm sure there was cameras at the hotel, for one. I'm sure there was cameras at the hotel. And I'm
There was somebody else.
sure,
There
like, that's
was a paparazzi. He got caught with the paparazzi before then because he was in the car. They
who,
caught him in
JT?
the car with a couple of bitches. No, Kevin Hart. This was just Kevin Hart being
Oh,
caught on his own. He was already being
okay.
caught on his own, but the sex tape, come on now, on his wife's
So
birthday weekend.
basically, that's on his wife's birthday weekend, too.
Yes,
Mm-mm-mm.
and she was pregnant with the first baby.
Yeah,
Hart,
that's
Hart was
crazy.
unknowingly videotaped having sex with a woman in Las Vegas last summer. And when the news broke, he immediately did damage control by apologizing to his then pregnant wife and made millions off the scandal by going on tour and making jokes about the habitual cheater, about being a habitual cheater. He did the same thing with when he was explaining which was it seriously funny or something. It was one of those comedy shows that he did years ago. It was before he married Nico.
What
He
did
was
his wife
talking about
say about it?
something. If he does it one more time, that's the last time. I have to send you the document. I probably should have sent it to you, but it is on
Hmm.
Netflix. Talk about some, oh, if
Oh,
you do it
okay.
one more time, I'm leaving, blah, 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 blah. Bitch, are you, now here's the thing. Here's the thing that's what kills me with these women, with these famous ass men. Because I think in Nico, I don't know if she's a model or something like that. See, these men marry these women, and we don't know what they did before they were married to these women.
Hmm.
Well, before these women were married to these men, like I don't know if she was in school. I don't know if she was working. Like we don't know anything about her. I do know she's related to who is she related to? Not Jordan Woods. Okay, Kim Kardashian. I know you know Kim Kardashian.
Yeah.
Okay, so Kim Kardashian's sister Khloe Kardashian, right?
Okay.
Okay, so Khloe Kardashian has a baby with Tristan Thompson, the basketball player.
No, I didn't know that, but okay.
Well, Tristan Thompson had a
So she
kissing
got a
scandal with
baby.
Jordan Woods. So that's just beside the point. So Khloe and Tristan got together while Tristan was still in a relationship with Eniko's cousin. So Eniko is married to Kevin Hart. Eniko is cousins with Tristan Thompson's ex-girlfriend, who he cheated on with Khloe Kardashian. Now Khloe Kardashian
Mm,
has a baby by him. You see the fucking
mm.
triangle and
That's
just this
crazy.
Hollywood girl. I think I explained this to you when we first started the podcast. I explained this to you.
About
So
the Kardashians, I cannot keep up with the Kardashians. That's why I don't watch that damn show.
keep up with the
I
Kardashians. Exactly. So I think I could have sworn I
cannot.
explained this to you before, but I think there's like a community of bitches. Well, not to call them bitches, but I think there is a
Nah.
community of bitches that go after men with money. And I don't think it's no coincidence that Eniko's cousin had a baby with Tristan, and then Eniko just so happened to start dating Kevin Hart, and they met in
Let
the
me tell
club.
you
So
this.
while
It's
he was
crazy
still married,
because,
while Kevin Hart was still married to his first wife.
but here's the thing though, a lot of the times, a lot of those celebrities, they hang out, they be around the same circle. And then you have certain people that know how to get to certain people. And then they know who they can shoot their shot with and who they cannot shoot their shot with.
Mm-hmm.
So all of that is taken into consideration. So it's like, for example, like Meek Mill be with Jay-Z, and then Jay-Z be with like Rihanna, and Rihanna be with Beyonce. Like, it's like they all, when you think about it, and then Chris Brown, and you might see, two hip hop artists together, you like realize like they all connected. What was that situation that happened recently? And we was talking about Rockefeller. Oh, the Meg Thee Stallion thing. And it was like how Meg Thee Stallion is under Jay-Z, but then when it all happened, what's that guy Tory Lanez? He had a show that aired on Jay-Z's network. I'm like, if he shot his artist, why the hell would Jay-Z endorse anything that he's doing? You understand? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why I'm like, all of this shit is tied the fuck together. And I'm like, bro, it's either publicity or they fucking drama is just, we just come in contact with their drama more so often based off the fact, and then that's really what it is for real, for real. The fact that they're famous, we're gonna be coming across their drama. But these celebrities are all their group of people that, like, I'm not surprised why they all be fucking the same people. Like, I'm not surprised. And now the part that gets me is like, y'all be knowing these gold digging ass females, and y'all still fall for it. Like, huh?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Like, you're famous. This bitch
That's what
is
I'm
gonna
saying.
be after money in some type of way.
And they
Like
fall
that's why I
for
be
it.
that's why, that's why I be asking, like, what the fuck did Nico? What the hell was Nico doing before she married Kevin Hart? Was she working at a grocery store? Like, was she modeling? Like what, girl, what the fuck? Like, not to put anything on Nico. It's not. Well, I'm not gonna say it's not her fault. She got cheated on, but she did get with Kevin Hart while he was still married, and they tried to downplay that shit in the documentary so fucking much. Like, we already knew what the deal was. Like, we know math. Like,
Are they
I
still
don't give a
married? I don't even know
damn.
if this is his current wife or what.
Nico is his current wife, but Tori, his
Oh,
first wife, she's not, well, hold on. Ooh, girl, I had to boot. But Tori is his first wife, and she did come out and try to cook. She always has to come out and correct, be like, no, he was still legally married and he was still living in the house. And to her knowledge, they were still together when he started dating Nico. And then that's when
mm,
she found out that he was cheating. So when this scandal came out with JT and everything, everybody looked at Nico like, that's what you get, bitch. You get him how you lose him how you
yep.
get him.
You lose him how you got him. That's exactly what I was thinking.
But not everyone is Team Hart. Apparently, a close look at the comments on JT Jackson's Instagram account shows actor Shamar Moore coming to Jackson's defense. Shamar Moore, he was on The Young and the Restless with his fine ass. He
That's
says,
all.
man,
He's like from London or England or whatever you call it, right?
no, Shamar Moore, are you serious?
Honestly, hold on, because I'm thinking of a light skinned dark guy, right? I like a light skinned dark guy. A light skinned guy. He's black with like a little. Let me look him up. When you say that name, but then for some reason I hear an English accent. He has pretty eyes. Let me look him up. How you spell his name?
He does. But Shamar Moore
That's
said, man, clear your name, homie. You ain't do this to Kevin. Talk to each other. And somebody replied to Shamar Moore saying, how do
I
you
want to
know?
look up the guy so I can get a visual. What's his name? Shamar Moore. Yeah,
Shamar Moore.
I don't know why I felt like he had an English accent. Yeah, I know. I don't know
No.
why I felt like I don't know, but I know him. He's 50.
He
He's
don't look
50 and
50.
fine ass. That's what you said? 50.
Oh,
He's 50.
okay.
That's
So the female that he was caught with, let me see. Woman at the
so
center
they were
of
caught
Kevin Hart.
together before the hotel.
Yeah.
Huh? He set
Huh?
himself up for that. If you got like if you know you married and you know you Kevin Hart and you know they just caught you, paparazzi just caught you with with some chick, why still go to the hotel room with her? You should have been like, yo, my shit is blue, my cover is blue. Take your ass home. I'm going home to my wife. That's what he should have did for real.
Jackson accused of trying to extort an undisclosed amount of money from Kevin Hart between 2005, between August 25th and August 30th, 2017. That's when he was well, I don't know if that was when he was in Vegas. Jackson allegedly had a videotape of the actor with the woman in Las Vegas and is accused of trying to sell the recording to numerous celebrity news websites. Oh, okay. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they
Hart,
said. It was an extortion, but I'm sure, like, honestly, I feel like if it wasn't JT, it was his wife. That's what I feel like, honestly.
how was it his wife and she was at home?
For one, as far as, okay, for one, the reason why I say the wife, because to me, whatever they have, they think is JT. If JT is saying it's not him, I think it could have been his wife, because he kept bringing up, oh, Kevin Hart brought me and my wife to his house, and Kevin Hart flew me and my wife out. Whatever they have, it's tracing it back to JT. If it wasn't JT for real, it was his wife. Whatever they have, I'm sure they probably picked up like the location of who was messaging, making the offers, the same way how they was able to pick up the pings off the towers with that situation from when that uncle killed his nephew. They have whatever they have, they know it was him. You understand? Or they know it came from, his area. What they had enough to lock him up. You understand? He went to jail
Uh,
for this. He's not guilty for the specific charges, but he went to jail for it. They had enough to lock him up. Because I can't just call the police and say, oh, this is happening.
it's
There's going to
either
be a
that
whole
or
investigation.
Kevin Hart has some really good lawyers. But I have a little video
But at the end
also.
of the day, if it's his friend like that, you're not going to want to press those type of charges. I don't care what kind of lawyer you have. Nobody can talk me into pressing charges against my friend unless my friend crossed me multiple times and I'm done with their ass. You
Well,
understand?
that's why JT said that Kevin Hart just didn't talk to him. He didn't call him to say, "Hey, what's going on? Like, did you really
He
do
probably
this?"
he
Like,
knows why. Did you? But like I said, that's why I'm glad you sent me that video with the TMZ video. How was it that Kevin Hart? Yes,
you're
like
going in
why?
and
That's
out.
why Kevin Hart. Oh, I'm just annoyed because I just feel like JT seemed like one of those friends that he didn't deserve to be in the company of Kevin Hart. He was too funny, like too weird. Like why are you talking to TMZ?
I
Who the
don't
fuck
know.
talks to TMZ? Like that's the confusing part. But go ahead, I want to see the video now.
Well, on top of that, the girl, she was suing Kevin Hart also for putting her in a position for where her
What?
privacy.
How's she suing Kevin Hart for
Girl,
what? You knew he was married.
she hired that trashy ass lawyer, Lisa Bloom. Let me show you the video. Hopefully you can hear it. She is connected to reports of an alleged extortion plot related to an alleged sex tape. I was involved with Kevin Hart. Since then, my pictures and my name have been released. Lies written about me. I'm not an extortionist. I'm not a stripper. I'm a recording artist and an actress, and I've not broken any laws. I had nothing to do with these recordings.
𝗵𝗲𝗀 didn't go into too many details about the exact nature of her relationship with Hart, but we do know the comedian posted this Instagram video on Sunday, and in it apologizing to his pregnant wife.
I made a bad error in judgment, put myself in an environment where only bad things can happen, and they did. And in doing that, I know that I'm going to hurt people closest to me, who I've talked to and apologized to, being my wife and my kids.
In that video, Hart goes on to say that someone is trying to make financial gains on his mistakes, but no law enforcement agencies have confirmed there is any investigation. 𝗣𝗲's attorney Lisa Bloom says they will be requesting one because 𝗣𝗲 is also the victim of crime.
𝗵𝗲𝗀 is a crime victim. Someone apparently snuck cameras into Kevin Hart's private hotel suite in Las Vegas and recorded bedroom images of the two of them. It is a crime to secretly put a camera in a private place, like a hotel room.
We've reached out to Kevin Hart's representatives. They are not commenting on the matter.
Well, were you able to see that? Were you able to hear it? Oh, you muted yourself.
Oh, you can hear me now?
Yeah.
My bad. I was able to hear it, right? And then what I was saying was that I feel like it could also have been the chick that he was sleeping with, even though she's saying she's a victim too. I'm like, to me, like I said, when you think about it, the hotels definitely have cameras, so they could at least see hallway activity. They could at least see who was in and out of that room.
Yeah, but your bedroom is private, and that's what was recorded.
Yeah. And I think because you know how I had like basically with my situation, I get what they're saying. They basically just said that the fact that it was hid secretly is what makes it the crime. So I guess what if it was a situation where he would have recorded it and then somebody would have got hold of it and then they would have exposed it? Is that still a crime? I
My
gotta look
thing
that up.
JT wasn't the only one of Kevin Hart's friends that was around him. Kevin Hart was told that it was JT who had planted and was trying to extort him. But that's because that's what Kevin Hart was told. So he's going off of what he was told. But he didn't even talk, man to man, he didn't even talk to his so called friend to see, hey, is this really you? Are you really doing this to me? Blah 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 blah. Like I would want to know. I would want to clear the air.
But
Give
like I
you a
said, if
chance
you
to
know,
give you a chance to defend
you
yourself.
could see based off of um you can see based off of Kevin Hart's personality that he doesn't seem like a strict person at all. Like he doesn't seem like a strict person at all. But the way how it seems is that that to me that had to have been his last straw with JT. That had to have been his last straw. Like say for example, I have friends that like I'm still cool with, but they've crossed me and they've done little shit, but you don't make a big deal out of it. But eventually after when you get to this one situation where something happens, you're not going to want to have a conversation, you're not going to want to nothing, you just wash your hands with it. So I think that's the only reason why he let his lawyers deal with it and he didn't have a conversation with his friend, because at that point he was probably done with his ass. Talk about
That's what
what?
Pierre. That's what Pierre said on Comedy Hype because like he was like, we don't know what happened behind the scenes that would make Kevin Hart not want to talk to him. So
Yeah. And then even so now the charges have been dropped. Like like to me I feel like the guy did it, but it's certain, so the charges, because even if you saw the video that you sent me where the lawyer was talking, he was like the information that they was putting out there about the situation, he was like it was bogus. He was like, I don't want to say the L word. He was like, let me say it, was lies. I'm like, no, y'all basically telling white lies to basically cover up the truth just to make the man look innocent, which that's what lawyers do. Lawyers are professional narcissists. Their job is to make a guilty man look innocent, no matter how guilty they are. But I'm telling you, they're not going to just lock him up without enough proof. So it had to have been some type of data or proof that led them back to JT. And like I said, if it wasn't JT, the only other person it could have been was possibly his wife. Meaning that his wife could have, when I say the wife, the reason
what
why
you
I say
think
the
his wife
wife,
hired somebody to
I
set her
think
husband
his
up and
wife,
got
I think they
Pierre?
probably, no, not, when I say his wife, I'm talking about JT's wife. Because I said wife a couple of times, and I'm not talking about Kevin Hart's wife. I'm talking about JT's
That
wife.
does how does that make any sense? Like she was nowhere in the vicinity and she doesn't
She
she's
didn't
not
have to
even.
be in the vicinity, but if her and him together plan that for money,
But what would
because
be her
remember,
motive?
the money, you not, he listen, the whole reason why he's getting arrested is because it was extortion involved, which means that somebody was trying to use his shit to get a financial gain. And to me, whatever they have, he's ordered, like, is leading it to JT. But the only other person that's close to JT would be his wife. And JT,
You're breaking up. Your sound is breaking up. Your sound is breaking up.
connected. Let me know when you can hear me, if you can hear me.
Okay, I can hear you.
Okay, it should be back now. You can hear me?
Yeah.
I turned the Wi-Fi off. Anywho, what I was saying was that I personally feel like it has to be some type of solid evidence that led back to JT, and that's the reason why they was able to lock JT up, right? The reason why I keep saying that I will have suspicion over JT's wife is because if it really wasn't JT and whatever evidence and proof that, when I say the JT's wife I think that, to me, they could have planned it together, you know? They could have planned it together because whoever's doing this, they're doing it for a financial gain. And JT has the qualities of somebody that will sit down and talk to TMZ for free. So what makes you think that he wouldn't try to expose somebody for money?
I don't know if he's stupid enough to think that they would get away with it. And then risk being caught and arrested and then losing out on money and jobs and shit like that.
But that's the thing. He just JT. Who is JT anyway? Does he even have money like that? Like, or is he somebody that is not
He
famous
is an
like that?
actor. I did see him
He's an
in a low
actor.
budget. I did see him in a low budget movie years ago. He
You
has been
said a
in a
low
few
budget.
he has been in a few commercials. If you recognize him, he is a paid Hollywood actor. I want to say he's on the CD list. Not Kevin Hart status, but he is one of Kevin Hart's friends, and he's a professional bowler also. So but
Mm.
you did hear him say that because of the backlash and all the stuff from the Kevin Hart case, he ended up having to drive Lyft and do DoorDash. Just to,
Wow.
yeah, yeah. So you don't want to say that somebody's lying when they've had to struggle like that because of something that they didn't do.
And like I said, if he didn't do, I mean, knowing the fact that there was cameras at the hotel, I'm sure there's a reason. There's solid proof that it was JT, and that's why he got arrested. They're not going to arrest him for something without the proof. At least I don't think so. It's not only that he was arrested, because you can get arrested and the next there's no evidence, so then they let you go. It went to trial, which means that there was some solid evidence.
When did it go to trial?
It went to trial. That's how they dropped the charges, because they didn't have enough proof.
Okay, that's how they dropped the
It
charges.
started, yeah, because the thing is that it started in 2017 and they were back and forth to court to 2019. And then in 2019 is when the judge was like, all right, we're throwing this out.
Yeah, October 1st, 2019. Let me see. A former friend of Kevin Hart's is no longer facing an extortion charge in connection with the comics 2017 sex tape
Here's the
scandal, but
thing. He's
he
not
still
facing the
faces he
extortion
still
charge.
faces
Go ahead.
additional charges in the case. Prosecutors at the Los Angeles the Los Angeles District Attorney's Office last week moved to dismiss a count of extortion by threatening letter against actor Jonathan Todd J.T. Jackson. The rap reports, a representative from the office told the publication that upon reviewing the case, evidence was not sufficient to pursue a conviction on the charge because a demand for money was not made to Hart directly. It was to his people.
Wow.
$60 million
Because they
lawsuit.
didn't ask him. They knew not to ask him.
And that female that was with Kevin Hart on the sex tape was trying to sue him for 60 million, but it was dismissed by a judge.
She was suing Kevin Hart, or she was suing JT?
She was suing Kevin Hart. Kevin Hart is the one with the money.
But why would she sue Kevin Hart when Kevin Hart was also a victim? What kind of sense that made?
Look.
That's why that shit was thrown out. Like, people are stupid. Like, you knew he was a married man, for one, and then now you want to sue them? Like, no. You should have never slept with a married man, dum-dum. Like,
He
that's the
pleaded
crazy
not
part to
guilty.
me.
Wait, hold on. Despite prosecutors dropping the charge, Jackson is still on the hook for felonies, including attempted and concealing, stolen, and selling stolen property, as well as 2 counts of unauthorized use of personal identification information in connection with the case. So it's something.
That's what I'm telling you. He's not being charged for the actual extortion anymore, but he's still guilty. At no point in time did JT ever look in the camera and say, I did not hide a camera in that man's room. At no point in time,
That's true.
he's never saying that. You know why? Because he did. The only thing he has to talk about is what he didn't do. And in as much as they talk about what they didn't do, he's innocent in the eyes of the freaking stupid people that's not paying attention to what he actually did do, which he did hide a camera there. He did use fake identity to do this and do that. That's why those charges are sticking, because it's solid proof that's sticking them. Now, as far as the extortion, He didn't go to Kevin Hart and say, well, that would have been blackmail, right? And say, yo, bro, I got this video of you. If you don't give me X amount of money, I'm going to leak it. He didn't go to Kevin Hart directly, but whoever did it, they knew to go to whoever was connected to Kevin Hart to make the deal or try to get whatever they can get out of the people. But like
Well,
I said, he's guilty. He never said, I didn't have nothing to do with hiding the camera. He never said that. He's not even talking about that. He's like, oh, the judge said I'm not guilty. Why is there nobody talking about that? Because they're saying you're not guilty, but you really are fucking guilty. And everybody knows because whatever charges are still sticking with your ass that got you locked up in the first place. Anyways, he's guilty. And I mean, he had something to do with it. He definitely had something to do with it. He may not have been part of the extortion. I'm like, clearly, I don't know. I don't care what nobody say. I feel like the man has something to do with it. That's how I
do you
feel, and
think
I'm
that he was
sticking to it.
being used by somebody else?
He could have, and like I said, it could have been. That's why I'm like, maybe his wife came up with the idea, or maybe because say for example, I think that it was probably a situation where they wanted the wife to know he was cheating, but somebody took it over their head to put money on the table. Because if I'm cool, if say for example, me and my husband, we got a rich and famous friend the guy is married, and I know my husband is going out with this guy to Vegas, and I find out that they be out there fucking bitches. And it's like to me, it could have been some motive for JT's wife to try to want Kevin Hart. Mind you, they're friends. It's like you sit in her face and smile with her all the time, and you know that your husband and her husband be out there fucking bitches. You're not gonna want her to know. But like I said, I think somewhere around the way, somewhere along the way, somebody got greedy and was asking for money. Because from what I understand, they never paid out no money, and the video still came out, and the wife still found out, right?
Of
So
course,
to
yeah.
me, somebody wanted the wife to know that he was cheating, but somebody else was like, "Oh, let's get some money out of this shit." That's how I see it.
Mm-hmm.
Because the video
Well,
came out. Anyways.
well, it'll all come out in the wash. I really want to see these court papers to know what was it that they had on Jay Z, JT for them to actually charge him. So,
Yep. Like I said, he definitely has something to do with it because they has whatever evidence is leading back to him. And even if it wasn't him, it was him and his wife. I don't think it was no way his wife was doing that without him because remember, his wife wasn't in Vegas, but he was.
well, let's go ahead and move on to the next story. Okay, so you remember the singing group Total, right?
Mm-hmm.
Can't you see what you do to me? Oh, we were meant to be. Oh, baby, can't
Oh,
you
can't you
see?
see what
Wow,
you do to me?
wow.
What happened
We
with them
really,
though?
we really need to stop. Okay, so
We do.
yeah. Okay, so let's put that
But
on the back burner. So you remember Centoya Brown, right? She was released from prison last year.
mm-hmm.
She was a
I didn't
16
wait. Hold up. Repeat that.
Well, 16-year-old. Well, she was 26. She served 10 years. She was
Who?
Centoya Brown.
I'm confused. She's from Total.
No, she's not from Total. It's a completely different story, but it connects. So Centoya
Okay.
Brown, she was released from prison last year because she was um given a pardon. What is it? A pardon or something by her governor in the state that she was in prison. And when she was 16, she was being pimped out, and she killed a guy that tried to kill her. That was,
Mm-mm.
paying for her services. Mind you, she's 16. She's a baby.
Mm.
And she spent 10 years in prison, and she was finally released after her case was being publicized. And the governor of the state that she was in gave her a pardon. So
Is that the light skinned girl?
yes.
Oh, I didn't know she got out. That's
Yeah, she got
good.
out
She's
last
a
year. But here's the thing: before she got out, she got married.
okay.
So when she got married, she married the ex-husband to Kim. What's her name? What's her last name? Oh, not
Which
Kim.
Kim?
I keep saying Kim. It's Pam. Pam Long. So total, the singing group total, it's Kima, Keisha, and Pam. So Pam is
Okay.
the one who came out. So when Santoya was released and her husband, they're doing interviews and stuff, and Santoya has a book deal, and her husband bought them a house, and he already had a couple of businesses. He being the man that's taking care of his wife that's getting out of prison. So
How she meet a whole nigga, a guy in prison that's doing all of that for her, and I'm not in prison.
I
Anyways,
think he got in touch with her as like some sort of a, because here's what happened. He used to
I had
be
to
he
go
was
all the way overseas for mine. Like this is crazy. Like,
well, here's the thing. He used to be an R&B singer. He replaced Baby Blue in Pretty Ricky. You remember Pretty Ricky, right?
mm-hmm.
Right on me. Anyway, he replaced Baby Blue after he left Pretty Ricky, and then he turned gospel artist. So that's where he gets the bulk of his money from. And then he started a whole bunch of businesses. So
Mm-hmm.
years ago, he was married to Pam from Total. Pam is the well, I'm not gonna say she has a deep voice, but she was the lead singer in Total. So he was married to Pam. And of course, they didn't last because he's married to Santoya now. So when Santoya gets out of prison last year, Pam from Total, she goes onto her podcast and says that Jamie, who is Santoya's husband, Pam's ex-husband, Jamie Long,
Mm-hmm.
she goes on her podcast and says that while they were married, Jamie had raped
Oh wow.
and was abusive. And she was like, Santoya, girl, you need to be careful, blah, 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 blah. Actually, I have I got a video.
You do. Okay.
I got a video. But
Yeah, I want to see that. But honestly, she was with the man. You know, so I'm sure she would never have a reason
did you mute yourself?
Oh, my bad. What you call it? She
What?
basically was with the man, so I'm sure she would know what the man does, and I don't see like she would. I don't think she would have a reason to, lie. But clearly, the guy got a. If you sit there and I don't think he knew the girl before she went in there, because mind you, if
No, of
he
course
didn't know
not.
her,
Of course not. They
but
met
how the
while she was in
hell?
prison.
But how did they meet while she was in prison? Like, how did that happen? I want to know that story.
I think he contacted her because of, celebrities were,
Trying to help her
make,
in her situation, and then she
yeah,
goes
yeah.
and marry him, and it's like clearly you preying on this goddamn girl because you know she used to be a damn
That's what
prostitute.
people were saying.
That's
That's what people were
crazy.
saying. But she had to come out and she was like, look, I'm not rich just because I have a book deal doesn't mean I got a whole bunch of money. My husband taking care of me. So there's really nothing to prey on.
The thing about it is that when it's the guy preying on her for her body. Like he knows she's vulnerable. She used to be a prostitute. That's what got her in there. Because if she wasn't prostitute, she would have never killed nobody. Because nobody would have been trying to kill her. Because she would not have been sleeping with people for money.
But
You
she was
understand?
no, that wasn't a choice. She was 16 and she was sex trafficked.
You well, see, honestly, when you say it wasn't a choice, I kind of can't believe that because a
What?
lot of these girls, I mean, when you say she was sex trafficked, with the story that I heard, she was a prostitute, meaning that she knew what she was doing. Nobody was really putting a gun to her head. Yes, she had a pimp, but you couldn't always come out of that lifestyle. You can always
But
come
she
out of
was
that lifestyle.
yeah, but she's young and she's being brain just like the R. Kelly situation.
I don't care what nobody say because as a woman at that, can somebody have talked you into that shit at that age? No, right? Because you know right from wrong.
Yeah, but people are different. People are different.
I understand people are
That's
different,
why
but when
Tim.
them being different, you do still got to take responsibility for your actions, because I know 10-year-olds that know better than to take, have sex with people for money. Why
Well,
you 15?
she did along the line, but she was still young enough to where she was impressionable enough to where, oh, let me follow this guy around, and because I love him, or he says that I love him, or I say that I love him, or whatever. I don't know what the fucking situation was. You know, mm, there are ways for you to fall into that lifestyle if you're, young enough. And I'm not gonna say that she was dumb, but
Honestly, the way how I see it, I'm like, when you like you, I don't know, but in my West Mac days, I used to go to school and go home. I didn't want to go out on the road with nobody, because at the end of the day, I understand that you being outside on the streets is how a lot of you that's how you get caught up in the wrong shit. If you stayed at home, because even like this, my mom friend, she has a daughter, and this little girl is always in trouble. But the reason why she's always in trouble is because this little girl does whatever she wants. She's been walking outside, to do whatever, God knows what. When these kids go outside to go play, you don't really know what they're doing. Because there's been times when I went outside to go play and I got caught up in situations where I'm like, this is what I really do every day. Like, that's why I'm glad this is a once in a blue type of moment for me. Like, they'll be out there about to go fuck guys. Wow, why y'all going to go fuck guys? We're like fucking
Yeah,
13.
but here's the thing. Toya, her situation, she was given up for adoption. Her mom had a whole bunch of mental
Okay.
issues, and she just wasn't being watched by, I think it was her grandmother. I think, you know what? Fuck that. She was in foster care, actually.
Yeah, but
And
even so, my thing is that you have to understand, like, this is why it's so important to, like, whether you see how you raising your nephews. It's important whether it's the mom, like, if you have a child in your life, you need to sit that child down and talk to them and let them know, like, don't ever let nobody talk you into doing some stupid shit. Like,
well, she
no matter.
wasn't being taught that. A lot of foster parents are just become foster
A lot
parents
of us
just
weren't
for the
taught
check.
that. Even with me, I wasn't taught that. Like, I was never taught that. Like, that's the crazy part, because to this day, I'm grown with two kids, and me and my mom never sat down and talked about sex ever, But I use my common sense to know in this life what to do, what not to do, because I'm sure it's a situation where she was outside running the streets. When you outside, it's like this. You see the little girls that get caught up in this sex life and stuff like that. It's similar to the guys that get caught up in the gang life. You understand? A lot of guys feel like they don't got no choice. They ain't got no choice. They gotta pick up a gun and do this. They gotta pick up a gun and do that. You understand?
So why do you think that wasn't what happened with Centoya? Some guy, some pimp
So do
sees
you
her
think
out
it's
on the
safe to say
street,
that guys that be
and
gang banging,
he provides her with a meal, a little motel room for her to sleep in, and it was like, hey, if you want to stay here and do this, you got to do this for me. You
for
want somewhere
one,
to
I'm
sleep,
not
you got to
staying
do
there because
this.
I'm going, like, okay, honestly, I get that everybody is different, but this is the thing. So being that y'all say all these little girls, because the common thing nowadays is girls that you can't control or boys that you can't control. The girls is not picking up guns. The girls is going out there and having sex, and then basically everybody is saying that they're brainwashed. They're having sex for money, and people saying that they brainwashed. So the guys that go out there and pick up guns and start selling drugs and shit for money, they also brainwashed too, right?
In a sense, because there has to be a leader or something to talk them into that.
Exactly. So now, to me, I don't consider it as being, well, if you say, to me, I don't really think that's brainwashed. I think that's them looking at their life and they're like, I can go to school and be a good boy and read books and get my homework done and be a nerd and get bullied, or I could be big fucking bad and have guns and sell drugs and make money. They pick the life they want to pick. The same thing with these young girls. They could be like, I can go home and do what I'm supposed to do, or I can go outside. Oh, I met this guy and he said if I do this, he gonna give me money. That's not brainwash. That's just you picking and choosing in life, and you start
But
picking
we
and
don't know
choosing.
what her home environment was like.
The thing about it is that as much as we don't know what her home environment was like, she still had the option. And it's so crazy because somebody was talking about this the other day. Okay, let me tell you this. It's a girl in Jamaica right now. She's on life support. She's 17 years old. Her situation is sad because she was beat up by 6 women that are adults. When I say adults, 18 plus, and mind you, she was 17. She got beat up based off of the fact that she was looking at them. And then, she popped off with her mouth, and then they popped back, and the next thing you know, they hit her in the head with a bottle, and then they stabbed her, everything. She's on life support. A lot of people is coming out and saying, oh, she should have never went to the party, da 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 da. To me, in that situation, her going to the party was the least, because at the end of the day, she didn't touch nobody. You understand? So when I think about these
Mm-hmm.
situations, I'm like, yeah, like I get what they're saying. Like, it's, to me, situations is always so complex because you got to look at the big picture. I get what they're saying when they're like, oh, she's 17, her ass should have been at home. We in the middle of a pandemic. It's COVID. You understand? That was some people's viewpoint, and then other people's viewpoint is like, no, she could do whatever she wants. Da 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 da. Da. I'm like, in this life, you pick and you choose, and whatever the outcome is, you gotta embrace the outcome, because your actions is what leads you up to the point in which you are now, and you gotta take full responsibility. You can't say that's like niggas that cheat. If every time they cheat, they be like, "Oh, she brainwashed me," which some of these girls, believe it or not, they do. Like, they'll know you have a wife, and they'll send you naked pictures. They'll do all this extra stuff just to see if you're gonna fall into temptation. You understand? So when
Yeah.
it comes down to, but then as much as there's temptation, you still have a choice. You can choose to fall into temptation, or you can choose to do something different. So that's why when I hear people say, "Oh, the girls was brainwashed," I'm like, no, because I know people that's less fortunate, and they still know not to go out there and have sex or accept anything from anybody. Because with these men, 9 out of 10 times, if they are giving you something, they want something in exchange for it. And I want people to stop making people think that it's okay to accept shit from guys. Like, I never took nothing from guys, because 9 out of 10 times they want something. But then again, it's some guys that will really do stuff for you, and they don't want nothing in return. I'm sorry. I just don't see the girl as being brainwashed. I see her as picking and choosing what she wanted to do, because she could have chose to be home with with her, not her mom, whoever was trying to raise her and taking her in at that time. You know?
All right. Well, going back to Pam, she chose to lie about Centoya's husband raping her while they were married.
Wait, she said wait, you said she chose to lie?
Yes.
So she came out and said that she lied.
Yeah, let's look at the video.
I
Let's
want to
look at
see the video.
let's look at the video. Um, can you see it?
I can see. I'm about to be close to my phone, so
Do you see it clearly? Like, is it on her?
I can see. So this one is the one where she's like, how long is it?
Couple of minutes.
Okay. Here,
Oh,
here.
the sound. Sound.
Pam's world. I made a comment about my ex-husband Jamie Long, and that comment was that he forces himself on women. And right after that, I said, "Do you remember that night?" Um, I was telling the world, basically, I was telling the world that my ex-husband, not even basically, I was telling the world that my ex-husband forced himself on me sexually, and that was a lie. Jamie, I'm sorry for what it is that I have said about you. I'm sorry for the shame that I have brought to your name, to your family, to you, your wife, your mom, your sister, and those who love you. Also to my family, to my church family, to my friends, to those who love me, who had no idea that this was a lie that I said concerning Jamie. I ask that you forgive me as well. Jamie, I'm sorry, and I know that sorry does not make up for what it is that I have said. But I ask that you would find it in your heart to forgive me for what it is that I've done to you. How about the man that forces himself on women? Do you remember that night? Mm-hmm. You want to go there? Come on. I don't think you really want to talk about you. So my thing is that all the lies
And like I said to anybody else, come on, hook me up to any machine that you want to hook me up to. But I don't think you can sit down and be comfortable hooked to something, telling all of these lies that you say.
Speaking on this, I think it was very selfish. Yeah. I mean, I don't know if she's trying to prevent her career. I don't know what she's trying to do. But she was saying, well, Pam from Total. Oh. So I think it was very selfish of her to do that, because me and my wife serious, man. We serious about what we're doing. We serious about the message. And I've been divorced from Pam almost 4 or 5 years now, man. I don't know, and we didn't even hang out. I didn't see her that much when we were married.
I think it was found 2014.
Something like that.
I can't see. I want to see him.
But I just feel like it was selfish of her to come out and do something like that.
Can you see it?
Because it's like you discredit
I can see him now.
what you're trying to do, trying to attach your name to something like that. It's like this. What did she say? What she said? Yeah, I wasn't sure.
She warned me
about me
on social media, and made it seem like you were doing it for attention. Yeah.
Nah, honestly, that makes no sense to me. And the reason why it makes no sense to me, I'm like, how is it that like, what is wrong with people? Like, how do you come out and say something and you turn around and say that, oh yeah, it's a lie? I'm like, what if it really happened? But then it's a situation where she's like, you know what? Let me go back and not make him look bad. Like, I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. But that's weird to me, because I'm the type of person where I won't sit down and come out and say something that never happened. And if something really happened, you won't see me saying like, you know what, I lied about it. But I don't understand what makes people do that. That shit is what blows my mind. Like, that's why I'm like, I don't understand what makes people do a lot of shit. But what do you think? I think she got paid. She got a check. We'll get you this check, and you just go and say that.
A lot of people were saying that she was forced into saying that she lied, because
she said that it don't sound like
the way she was looking in the video. I don't know. To me, she does look sick. I don't know what's going on, but it does look like there's something wrong. I don't know if there was something wrong when she made the accusations, but there does look like there's something wrong now to make her turn around and say that she lied. So we really can't say, because we're not behind the scenes. A lot of people would say that it looked like she was being coached from behind the camera.
That's what I'm saying. Like, it's something about that apology that just doesn't. It seems like she could have got a good check. That's how I feel. That's how I really, really feel. And with that situation with that girl, I'm sure they have the money to pay somebody off anyway. Because I'm sure a lot of people help get her money to help her get out of jail and everything. But I think shit like that is just completely weird to me. Because I don't understand people. Like, that's why I want to go to like learn human behavior, like psychology.
Well, look, hopefully Cyntoia is all right. Not to say anything towards her husband. We haven't heard anything. We do know that there's a mini series out on Netflix about Cyntoia's life that is coming out next year. And, it's pushed back because of COVID. So.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Even like, so like, I feel like the guy, it's just weird to me that a guy would meet a girl in jail and marry her while she's in jail. Like,
do you know how often that shit happens?
I mean, honestly,
that show Love After Lockup. That show Love After Lockup that is to do the review videos for on Instagram. Like, people meet people in prison a lot.
That's crazy, because
they get married in prison, or they wait till they get out.
Hold on, let me tell you this. Let me turn my camera on so I can tell you all my business before we come off of here. Oh, wait. No, but it's about my situation with a guy in jail. Let me tell you, I had 2 guys that I've ever known. So when I was in high school, when I was in college, I had met this guy, right? And this guy, I met him, and me and him never chilled or nothing, but he was cool. Like, we used to talk on the phone a little bit. So then, mind you, I was living in New York, and then I got pregnant, and I moved back to North Carolina, and I'm getting a call from like, he basically made one of his relatives 3-way me. And then he was like, "Oh, this such and such," and I'm like, "Oh, hey, what's up?" He was like, "I'm in jail now, whatever." And I'm like, it's crazy because we didn't even talk like that before he went to jail, and it was so long. So I know the people in jail, like they be lonely and they be reaching out to people some way, somehow, finding shit to do. But the thing about that situation is like when he came home or whatever, I didn't have an interest in him, but he used to swear like, "Oh, I like you, da da da." He came home, he had a whole girlfriend and everything. I'm like, this nigga. But like I said, I couldn't, like me personally, I couldn't see myself dating him. Now, it's this other guy that I know. He's actually in jail now. And he was the guy that, like, when I reconnected with him, it was before I met my husband. And it was weird because I actually know him. And I actually, like, really, really liked him. And he had just went off the scene. And when I got back in contact with him, he was in jail. He wanted to be in a relationship. I couldn't be in a relationship with somebody in jail. I don't know what it was. I just couldn't do it. But it's weird because my husband lives overseas. And I like the thing, I think when you love somebody, you love them and you know. But I'm like, that situation for him to be who he is and marry somebody whose story was streaming on social media is weird to me, you know? That's why I'm like, how did they even hook up? Like, I want to know I want to hear the love story behind that one.
Well, we're gonna have to wait for her book that will be coming out.
Oh, she's doing a book?
Yes.
What's the name of it, you know?
No. You know
Okay.
everything's pushed back until next year because of COVID. So we're all just gonna
Yeah.
have to wait. So hopefully, I'm pretty sure, with Pam lying, quote unquote lying, that she'll talk about, how that affected her marriage. You know what? It did affect her marriage in a way because he has a son with another woman
He has a
before
son?
yeah, he has a son with another woman before he married Pam. And the baby's mother put in a court order that was approved by a judge that she didn't want the son around Centoya. So he couldn't see his son unless
Oh,
there was,
wow.
yeah, girl. So,
But the
yeah,
thing is that the girl is basically since that's the one who was the prostitute.
yeah.
Honestly, and this these are good topics. Like I always got something to where I can relate. Like honestly, my daughter's father, he has this girl that's a prostitute. And I tell him I don't want my kid around her. Honestly, I have a thing against prostitutes. I can't say I have a thing against them, but I'm so against prostitution because I'm like, I understand stripping, but you really having sex with you busting it open for money. Like, what if you get HIV? Like, there's no money that could fix that. You understand? That's why I don't understand how people sleep with people for money. I'm like, it's not worth it in my eyes. But anyways, I feel like with girls like that, if you could sell your own pussy for money, imagine if a guy come around and looking at my daughters and they're like, how much for that pussy? If the price is right, you letting them take it. Like, no, I think like that. And that's why I tell him, like, I don't want my kids around her. So I understand why she would do that because you have to understand a girl, she does have trauma from her background, and people like that, they live a life to where they can do stuff that's normal to them, for example, sleeping with people for money, and they see nothing, they don't think heavy of it, because it's like they grew up rough and they seen a lot of shit and been exposed to a lot of things, you know. So I understand that. Like I would probably do the same. Like I wouldn't want my child around somebody who's been that traumatized because you don't know what to expect with them.
That is true. That is true.
That's the only thing I could say because as a mom, I'm like you hear Jaguar Wright talking about some she was gang raped how many times? I'm like, shit like that is scary to me. It's scary to me
Yeah.
because I'm like, I haven't been I haven't, like, luckily I
And
haven't
you
been
know what?
raped.
A lot of people were comparing Pam to Jaguar Wright. Did
That's
you notice like the
crazy.
similarities in their voices? And if you weren't looking at the camera or to your screen, it would sound like the same person. Because a lot of
That's
people want to say
crazy.
that Jaguar Wright is lying also.
Honestly, with Jaguar Wright, she has mental issues. I don't think she's lying. I just think she's not at she's not as she's not a reliable source because you don't know if it's her speaking or if it's her mental disability speaking. because people like that, they can say stuff and then they exaggerating it, or they're adding stuff to it because it could be partially true, but then they added some shit to it because that's the way that they saw it, but then it didn't really happen like that. But because of their mental issues, they don't see it any other way. You understand?
Yeah. Well, what did the card say?
Oh, you know, I was pulling cards.
Yeah, I can see right there in the camera. I can see it
Okay,
all about that bag.
I
I
pulled
can see that thank you bag hanging on your door.
yeah, this is crazy. Well, it's not crazy, but I pulled three cards. The first card is I am aware. It says it's number 24. It says when I pay attention to my surroundings, I can feel appreciation for everything. I see so much beauty in the world. Being aware means living in the present and fully experiencing my life in the here and now. I am aware. That was the first card, right? The second card I pulled, it says happiness is my birthright. So it's like, I don't know. This is our reminder to be happy. But check this one out. This is a Bible quote, a Bible script. It says, "For God so loved the world that He gave His one and only Son, that whoever believes in Him shall not perish but have eternal life." And that's John 3:16. But yeah, but ultimately, I don't know. I don't know about y'all energy, but I've been focused on like a lot of like I can't say that I'm not happy, but I will say that I got a trip coming up to Jamaica next month, and I've been working my ass off, and I feel like, damn, when I'm gonna be able to turn up?
Is your husband meeting you in Jamaica?
Yeah, he's gonna be there too. He's gonna be there too.
So
But
no
these
update
basically,
on the
whew, now I'm
what?
getting hot. Because the thing about it is that he got you know how we going through the immigration process.
Yeah.
We go into Jamaica, right? And I told him to get his ticket for the 12th of December. This man goes and get his ticket for the 5th of December. We got, after he bought his ticket, we got an email that said his interview was going to be December the 4th. His interview that would require for him to go get his interview and then he could come here. The problem now is that he just spent money on a plane ticket. He don't have money to fly out. His plane ticket is for the 5th. They want him in Barbados on the 4th. It's not going to work. So we had to cancel the appointment, and now we don't know when the next appointment is going to be.
You could have just went ahead because you didn't have money to switch the
It's not
ticket
even
over.
that. It's about the fact that he would have had to have canceled his ticket, and then it's like my mom's wedding is in December too. And remember, we have to be quarantined for 14 days. Our wedding is the 19th. There's no way he can go to Barbados and then go to Jamaica and quarantine because when he go to Barbados on the 4th, he has to be there for at least a week. He actually would have to go down before the 4th because what happens is he has to go do a blood test, like not a blood test. They got to do a whole physical and blood work before they come here, and it takes 2 days for the results. So if his appointment was on the 4th, he would have had to go out there December 1st, and then did his physical by like the 2nd, so that this way by the 4th the physical could be ready. And then not only that, when you go get your visa, they take your passport. They take your passport for a few days so they can give you your visa and stamp up your passport. It's not like he just needs to be there for one day. He would have to be there for at least 7 days to get everything done that he needs to get done.
So his appointment needs to be totally separate from the wedding.
Yes, the thing is that there's not even no appointments. You remember I told you the senator was working on our shit because there's technically no appointments. I didn't even know how we got that appointment. But if the senator was involved, because they said if you ever put in an inquiry, that expedites your process. Anytime you inquire about your process, the senator has been working on it. Remember I showed you the letter I got last week?
Yeah.
So whatever they're doing, because when we cancel the appointment, normally you can go on and reschedule, but there's no appointment dates available because technically there's no interviews that are keeping right now, only emergency interviews. So the interview that we got, we weren't even supposed to get technically.
Oh wow.
So it was just like I didn't expect it. I got hot because I'm like Jesus. I'm like, you wait for something for so long, and then when it finally gets right there, it's like Oh man, swiper, no swiping, like it's not happening. But it's cool because I feel like life, with COVID, life hit us crazy. Like he wasn't working for a few months. He literally just bought his ticket for Jamaica. So I'm like, I can't be mad because, you know, I feel like everything happens for a reason. So I don't feel bad about it. I don't feel bad. Happiness is my birthright. I'm just thinking about that. I'm like, I'm gonna remind myself that anytime I want to smack a hoe.
Well,
Happiness is my birthright.
prayers to the process. Prayers to the process.
Yeah, the thing is that when you kind of got it, when you get something out your head because you don't think it's gonna come through. It's like when you pray for something and then they always tell you to be prepared for what you pray for because when you get it, are you even prepared for it? Because in this situation, no. It's remember how 11/11 was there? November the
Yes.
12th at 6 o'clock in the morning, I got an email. I'm like, damn, I know the 11/11 portal was open and shit, but I didn't know it was that open. Like, how the fuck this happened? But I wasn't prepared. He wasn't prepared. Neither one of us is prepared. So I'm like, hey, it is what it is. I'm gonna call them and extend it, but I can't call them right now because I don't even know what the hell to tell the people. Anyways, just say some prayers for us.
Of course, of course. And y'all who are watching, say a prayer for Juanita and her husband that they can be in the U.S. and get freaky. Um,
Exactly, because I ain't seen my husband since last year, August. Like, this shit is ridiculous. Like, no sex for how I'm like, this don't make no sense. But it's all good in the hood. It's all good. In due time. Next month is my time though. So yeah, I literally haven't had sex the whole year. That's crazy, right? Well,
well,
more
please
than a year,
contain
but
yourselves. Please contain yourselves when you go down there for your mom's wedding, okay? So, well, thank y'all for watching this week. Please like, comment, and subscribe on YouTube. Donate to the Cash App. And I do link the Cash Apps up under the video. So if y'all want to donate to Juanita and her husband, getting him over here into the US because this immigration process is not cheap. Okay.
yeah, that's the crazy part. But I'm just being patient because, like I said, I'm going to Jamaica next month. We're going to see each other, and then from there in 2021, at least I know for sure 2021 he'll be here. So that's the good thing. Yeah. Anyways, thanks so much for tuning in, guys, and until next week, I'm about to go
Y'all,
downstairs and join the party because remember it's my sister's birthday part two.
okay, yes, yes. Happy birthday to Crystal. And y'all be blessed, stay black, and more so now than ever, fuck the police. We will see y'all next week.
Bye, guys.